is a presentation of Real Wise Productions and Komen Media Incorporated. Eight presidential candidates, but the quote elephant not in the room, close quote, outshines them all. Next on Mentality. Welcome to another installment of Mentality, the place where iron sharpens iron in the realm of health, wealth, mental health, love, brotherhood, and entrepreneurship, all from a man's perspective. I am one half of the team, one of the co-hosts of this program, Cole Johnson, and I am joined as always by the other half, the man that we call Wize, my brother Wise El Jefe. How you doing, man?
I am doing well, brother. I am well. I am blessed, man, to be able to do another show and do what I love to do. So anytime I get to record and create content with you, man, it's a blessing, brother. So
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, the feeling's 100% mutual. And man, it just gets better with time like wine. Tributes and outrage are pouring in from a Southern California shop owner who was shot and killed last week over a pride flag on display outside of her store. Now, deputies responded to a call about a shooting at the Mag Pie shop in Cedar Glen, California, last Friday evening. That a 66-year-old woman, her name is Lauri Carleton, was shot and was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, the deputies also found the suspect who fled on foot and was still armed. And when the deputies tried to make contact with him, they fatally shot him. Why are we still dealing with hatred of this sort?
Because this is what they want. This is they're pushing this agenda, the LGBTQ plus agenda, and people are resenting it. People are attacking it and that's what they want. They want us divided. They want us to fight over this. They want us to be arguing over. Oh no! Like, listen, it's a pride flag. How is that hurting you? Like, I don't understand. It's her establishment, first of all.
Right.
If it's her establishment, you don't need to shop there. Why does someone need to, like, why does it have to get violent? That's the problem. People are getting offended over things that, like, you just don't need to shop there. You don't need to attend that store if that's your problem. If her having a pride flag is an issue with you, don't shop there. What makes you the person to go ahead and take someone's life over a flag? A flag.
How stupid.
And it's only going to get worse because they're trying to force it on people, and people don't want, like, listen, we're about live and let live, but Do not force it upon us. Don't
100.
enforce it upon people that they have to. No, it's if people don't have it again. This is why where we live in a country where we choose what we want to choose, however we choose to live. That's your right. As long as you're not
Mhm.
doing anything to harm anyone else, live your life the way you choose to live.
Right. Because we want the same courtesy extended to us.
Yeah, let me live my life.
Hmm.
I'm not interloping in your life and who you sleeping with, who you want to be with. That's your
Hmm.
problem.
Exactly.
But it doesn't
Not
have. It shouldn't be forced upon me,
right.
and people are going to begin to resent that.
Hmm. Yeah.
You're
As they
not going
should.
about it the right way. You,
Right.
you're not to force people to accept things is not going to happen. People just need to start waking up and realizing, listen, whatever someone chooses to live, whatever their life, that's their life. How is that affecting you?
Yeah.
If you're saying, oh, it's affecting my kids, then your kid, why is your kid, how is it affect? What are you allowing your kids to view?
Yeah. Yeah. It's back when we were teenagers. I remember listening to a speech by, of all people, Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he actually said, you know what you should do as parents? You should take your children when you get from those schools, which he actually called the killing fields. He said you should debrief them and then put the right thing in them. And he's correct. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do as a parent. You're supposed to take the child, learn what they have learned from the outside world,
Mhm.
and then decipher, okay, that is good for you to learn, and that is not good for you to learn.
It starts at home. It starts with you, your parent communicating with you, or someone in your household to steer you. Like, okay, yeah, that. What do you learn in school was cool. Yeah, that part. Yeah, there's
Hmm.
certain things. There's no there's no merit to it. There's nothing like
Oh.
there's
Mhm.
things. Again, I always talk about that they're programming. The schools are programming for you to creating consumers. That's what they're creating. They're creating consumers. They're not teaching you the necessities of what it is to live in this country and how to truly survive. So they're just giving you the basics. They're not teaching you
So-
what you need to learn. And
Yeah.
so all this again, it's up to the parents and it's up to people like us to share this knowledge and let people make people aware. Like find out what's the curriculum being taught at your kid's school. Like you need
Hmm.
to, as a parent, you need to be involved.
Hmm.
Don't just that's where I feel we're failing at is I remember parents were much more involved in schools when I was in
Hmm.
school.
Yep.
And it wasn't
Same
be
here.
like, oh, and it wasn't like, oh, it's the teacher's fault. She just don't know how to teach my child. And again, a lot of parents found out when we were locked down that maybe it wasn't the kid, it wasn't the teacher. Maybe it was my bad kid as well. So
Right. Hmm.
so it's just too much, man. Like
Hmm. Now, as for the shooter, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, like, for the shooter, it's you take a life, your life needs to be taken. I'm old school now. You killed the lady and you took her life. I'm not
That's right.
upset that they didn't let you live. I'm not. If that might sound harsh, people might get offended. I'm not trying to offend someone, but he did murder someone. He decided he wanted to be judged during next, and he didn't want to go peacefully. So the cops had to do what they had to do.
Yeah. Now the woman, yeah, she definitely was married to a man, so she wasn't homosexual. She actually was heterosexual. Uh, 9 shared children did she have. The youngest two were identical twins. So all of that anger for nothing. So how can we as men do a better job protecting those like a Lauri Carleton, uh, who was unnecessarily killed by somebody?
It's by us. working together, like people getting together, building back communities, really working on communities and building the strength of the community, and learning that we can live amongst each other, all of us being different. It starts at the community level. It starts. We have to repair this. We have to be able to go out and really start getting in touch with our community and talking to the people in our community and see what. It's crazy because I sent you a clip earlier, and what he said, a lot. Even what he said might be applied to work, but also applies to life. I'm saying, and so, are you serving your community in the way that you really should be serving it? And a lot of us, me too, a lot of us fail at it. We're not doing what we're really truly supposed to do in our communities, and that's where it starts at.
Yeah. And I get a big, massive F too. I'll admit that. I will admit that. And that is a wonderful question to ask oneself.
Yeah. And it's something it's actually been something I've been reflecting on. Like I've come to the point where, yes, I love podcasting. I love what I'm doing, but it's like I really need to involve my community more in what I want to do. So I'm even thinking about going around local shops and interviewing local shop owners and community and sharing them and celebrating them, and so that's something I'm working on. It's one of the projects, but again, it's my way. That's how I feel like I can give back to the community and involve, like going out and share these local businesses that are doing stuff and helping them out. So ain't none of us on this planet perfect. We all have flaws. We all do stuff.
Yeah.
Who are we to say I'm going to kill you because you I don't agree with your views or your opinions?
All right.
Please, man, I need to get over that.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. We're just getting started. Mentality will return. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
You have to learn to live with yourself before you can make a commitment of yourself to someone else.
When you go to something that's already structured, like the church, I don't need to go in there thinking I'm the pastor. It's like already one set up, you know what I'm saying?
It just had everything, but I learned, you know what I'm saying? Everything I did, I learned from.
So we look forward to seeing you same time, same place. Know that we love you, God loves you more. Continue to stay safe, do the right thing, stay out of trouble.
Conversation that informs a community. Brothers of Legacy. Every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Welcome back to Mentality, where men are men and not machines. With Wize and I am Cole Johnson, and speaking of a man who isn't a machine and has learned the hard way why he's not, welcome to Celebrity Style. Comedian Kevin Hart is in a wheelchair. Yeah, you heard me correctly. He is in a wheelchair, and he is sharing the story behind why he is in said wheelchair. So he detailed the injuries which landed him there, which stemmed from a foot race to settle an argument in a video this past Thursday. Now, he recounted his bet against a former NFL player. That player was, former many teams, but chiefly former Steeler and former Patriot, Stephen Ridley, running back, that he could outrun him in a 40-yard dash. And the video was, of course, expletive laden that unpacked the situation and the extent of those injuries. Now, Kevin, being himself and being his normal crazy self, said, quote, "We get out there, we go run the 40-yard dash. Tore my lower abdomen, my abductors. I don't even know what it is, but I tore them. I tore those too. I can't walk. This is 44." Close quote. Now, he went on to say, ladies and gentlemen, the age 40 is real. And when he said this is 44, he meant his age 44. He says, look, the age 40 is real. And he says, all my women and men out there, 40 and above, it's not a game, and respect that age. So I start by asking this. Why would he challenge a former NFL player who's not even 35 yet to boot to a 40-yard dash?
I love Kevin Hart. I love his entertaining. He's real. He's a fool. He's a fool. Listen, I'm 47, and you think I'm gonna challenge a 30-year-old to a foot race? Let alone and Kevin's in shape. Let's not get it wrong. Kevin works out. He's in shape.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's in awesome condition, no question.
But you're not a football player, first of all.
No. And there's never been.
Stephen Ridley is a professional running back who's been running for years. You're just Hollywood, man. You haven't been running what he's been running. Like, if you've been on the treadmill, yeah, maybe, but I don't think you've been in the trenches. He runs 40-yard dashes. That's what they do.
Right.
He's a professional. Even though he might not have been played for a couple of he's a professional.
Oh my God.
You're an actor.
Right. Now, they're boys, so this isn't like a professional rivalry type of thing.
No,
they're boys.
It was still stupid on his part. Like,
I agree.
That's like me. I become friends with a pro athlete, and say I know I'm not in no shape, so I would never do a stupid thing like that. But say I would never I don't care how good of a shape I'm in. I'm not a professional athlete.
Nope.
Listen, I mean, bro, you better than me in that. I'm not gonna challenge you to that. Why? Because the ego.
Right.
Because I want to stroke my ego. Kevin, you a big man. You got all that money in the world. But sometimes you do some stupid like that. To me was some stupid like I wouldn't have even considered a foot race with a professional running back.
No. And the funny thing is, you play football and I play football, and we both wouldn't consider that.
I'm not doing that. Nah, man. Nah. I don't care how small and quick you, fast you. I'm not. No. That was just stupid on your part. Now look at you. You will budge about for how long? Who knows how long? Like, even though movies are on strike right now, I guess this is the best time for it to happen.
I guess so.
There ain't nothing going on.
I guess so, man. I guess so.
So you lucked out on that part. But Gina.
Oh no, not going in the bag of Martin. Oh no.
Gina, like
oh my gosh. Now, as I said, Stephen Ridley and Kevin Hart, they're friends. So this was done in the spirit of competition, and it wasn't done, like,
I don't care how it was done. It was done stupidly on Kevin's part. Even thinking like, it's my boy, I'm gonna race him. Like, nah.
Oh, I'm not debating that at all. In fact, I'm with you. But I'm saying it's not like a the old show Pros versus Joes where you get these
I
fools.
remember that show, and
Mhm.
I'm like, that
You
just
could-
goes to show you, like, I seen a video, a little clip, and
Mhm.
it was, I guess, Patrick Mahomes was in Disney World, and
Mhm.
a YouTuber got him, and he asked him, so do you think an average person could play a full NFL game and complete a pass? His answer was no.
No.
And I agree with him, because
I
you will be
agree with I agree
I
with
know
that
shit. It
too.
won't be me.
No.
I won't be the one risking my life. You're not hitting me.
No.
And I played football. Like, no, I'm not doing
Yes.
this. I'm not.
I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
I'm saying it's
these are
knowing the contact.
these are well-oiled machines. And we're talking about a real live game. We're not even talking about preseason. A live game. No. That's like sending me to the slaughterhouse right there. They're sending me to, like,
oh, you don't play court. Oh, good Lord. Just imagine
good
defensive
Lord.
linemen, defensive ends. They're like, oh,
I
you
could
ain't
be-
played quarterback before? Oh, this is gonna be fresh
like
meat. No.
That's me, like, putting myself in the line of Kayvon Thibodeau or some Ojolari or somebody, or like Aaron Donald. Like, you could like, I would be screaming like some little girl running away. I'll be running the opposite way, and he'd still probably run me down and tackle me.
They too strong and too quick.
I'm out. I wouldn't even
no, sir.
run forward.
No,
I'm
sir.
running backwards. I'm running the other way. Screaming screaming in the process. And screaming in the process. Like, no.
Them young men are too fast, too strong, and too quick. No.
No.
And if people think that the average person can walk out the street and play quarterback, get out of here. In NFL, no.
No. Don't speak to me. Leave me alone. Go that way. Don't even ask me. Don't invite me. Nothing. I don't know. No.
Now, if you were in Stephen Ridley's shoes, and he responded to Kevin saying, "Look, I respect you. You're a competitor. You're my boy, but it ain't my fault you got put in a wheelchair." Now, if you
I would have been like,
how would you respond to Kevin Hart after his injury?
I'm sure I would have been like, listen, I told you not to do it. Because I'm sure I would have warned them. Being the friend that I am, I would have like, yo, bro, you kind of old. Oh, you kind of old. I'm still got a little. It's still a little some difference between the age difference, man. I'm a professional athlete. You're a professional actor, comedian. Let's just say it's a tie. Let's not even do this.
Yeah,
I don't want to hurt. I don't want you to get hurt.
Because I would say to him, it would be if I were in Stephen Ridley's shoes, it'd be tantamount to me stepping up on stage trying to tell jokes. I would have tomatoes thrown at me the first minute, maybe two, of being up on stage. You, Cole, can go up on stage and have people falling on the floor for 15 minutes. No, dude, don't ask for this. Don't ask for this. Now, Kevin received a whole lot of condolences and encouragement from, of course, his boy, The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, from Steve Harvey, from Tracy Ellis Ross, from Jamie Foxx, and from others, and of course from Stephen too. Now, if you were friends with Kevin Hart, what advice would you pass along to him before and after the stupid thing of racing an NFL caliber athlete?
bro, listen, Kevin played high school ball. I get that. But what would make you think that you can beat, again, a professional running back who takes a beating for a living, getting hit by linemen, and still running and still like? Because Stephen really was no slouch. He was a pretty good, solid running back.
No, I mean, in fact, in 1 year he gained almost 1,300 yards in the season. So, I mean, this dude is no slouch.
I don't know.
And played in the SEC before he got to the pros. So this guy was not a slouch. But yeah, I'm like, Kev, you know better than that. I know you got Apex, but dude, nah. You couldn't do that at 34. You 44? No. So what lesson does this teach those of us like you and me who are beyond the age of 40?
That this will teach us that we need to stay out of foot races with NFL running backs. That's what that teaches us. That but I kind of knew that. Like there was certain things. There's certain what was it? We was doing something and my wife's cousin, who I love him. He had my love for him. He goes, yeah, so why you got all that body? Listen, man, I'll say I might have all this body. Like I might be a big guy, but I'm soft. I'm not doing anything extraordinary that are more necessary than I'm not. So this, I'm done with trying to do young men things now. Like he was like, why don't you play baseball or something? I'm like, no, you want to play basketball? I'm like, you want me to run up and down the basketball? No, you want me to have a heart attack or something? I'm good. I'm good.
Not all this body. Oh my gosh. Mentality will be back in 2 and 2. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. 4 men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Dog, and H-Rap B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap B always predicts,
if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Welcome back to Mentality, the place where this is for all men. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson. And we had a little bit of fun. I guess we might have a little bit more fun, but a little bit more thinking to match along with it. Here is something to ponder. Now, earlier this month, unfortunately, there was a devastating wildfire on the Hawaiian island of Maui that wiped out a whole city. In fact, it wiped out everything but literally one house. Not on the island, but this one city. And the thought process seems to be, so this all burned down, and where was the governmental help and aid? Because there was complaints from the people who were living there that that the first responders, they responded, but they couldn't respond in the way that normally you would. The local and state government seemed to drag their feet. And then there was President Joe Biden, who flew on Air Force One holding an ice cream in his hand. No, he did not hold ice cream in his hand. But he flew in and surveyed everything just about 2 weeks after this horrendous wildfire happened. And I will comment on something that will make, I think, everybody shake their heads. But he surveyed everything. He spoke to the people, both outside the burn center, I guess you could say, and in a building that wasn't burned down. And when he left, he did not receive the most hospitable of goodbyes. In part because how he responded to this has come under scrutiny, because he declined to comment on the wildfire relief while relaxing at his Rehoboth Beach home in Delaware earlier in August. Now, he also faced criticism for waiting to visit Maui for nearly 2 weeks after the fires, a delay the White House said was necessary to avoid interfering with search and rescue efforts. I'll begin by asking this. Why do you think the Maui wildfire response on a local and state level was slow?
You want Oh man. So you want to hear what I've heard why? Or do you do I agree with what I've heard of the story? Or
why not? Yes.
Okay. So
this should be interesting.
It's very interesting. So supposedly they allowed this to happen because certain people
exactly where
own the land.
This is exactly where I want you to go. Yes.
Certain people own the land, and they want this to be they want this to be, I guess, the trial, if you want to say that, if that's what you want to call it, for the first future city.
Yeah, I've heard
and this is what I've heard. I have a coworker of mine who's very into details, and he talks about who's the people that own the land and certain names, and there are some very powerful names. And that this is the next smart city. This is what they want to build. This is the next smart city.
One of those names didn't happen to be old Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, was it?
That's not a name I've heard, but another name. It could have been I've heard the owner of X.
Oh, Elon Musk. Okay.
I heard Harpo.
Really? Oprah Winfrey once a part of Hawaii. Okay.
Well, she owns. She owns. I heard quite a piece of land. This is what I heard. This is what my coworker explained to me and told me.
This is beautiful.
And I tend to agree with him. I tend to like how all of a sudden this blaze happens and it's crazy. It was just crazy the way the fire started and in the middle of a hurricane or whatever was going on, and just raised out of control, demolishing a section that they were. I guess they looked at it as this is our site. This is we need to get rid of, eliminate all this and make it happen naturally. I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
Or make it look like it happened naturally. I don't
If
know.
so,
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I don't put it past anybody. I don't put anything past anyone.
I'm with you. You're not the only one who I wouldn't put that past somebody either. Because I've heard something similar. I'm like, oh, good Lord.
I'm sure the names change.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Like,
only time will tell. Only time is gonna tell. Right now, it's just stories, but give it a few years and we'll see.
Now, that's the local and state level. Now, why would it take the president almost 2 weeks to visit Maui?
Because he probably already knew what was gonna happen. Like he probably like Stevie. Like you don't. He's not a great actor. He's not a great actor, and so you can't really tell if he's sad or happy or just.
He's not a great actor.
They just messed up with what puppet they put in there. Like they're regretting that they put this sleepy man up in there. They are, because I thought George W. Bush is the second one, right?
What, the younger one? Yeah. Younger was W, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought he was an idiot, but like this dude is really asleep at the wheel. This dude is really asleep at the wheel, and I think they had to prepare him. Like they had to really prepare him. I don't think he was capable to understand. Like, sure, we're gonna have to train you on this. Give us a couple of weeks to help prepare you for the situation. Like any normal president would have taken a couple of days to,
right,
and they would have been prepared. I think they did it because they needed to prepare him for 2 weeks. Like they really need to drill it in him.
That probably is a great explanation. Oh my gosh. He's not a good actor. Let's see, W was comical.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
He did. He did make you laugh. He did make you laugh. Now you just kind of feel like with this dude, you kind of look at it like that could be my grandfather, like really losing and then when it's been with my situation, realizing with my mom going through, so it's just like sad. It's sad to see this.
Later we will have thoughts from the throne. This is Mentality. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
It's your girl, Stacey Rose.
Are you looking for a show with riveting interviews, important community information from a vibrant and grounded host? STK Productions presents The Intro Kit.
Put God first and ask questions later. Let's get it popping. I wanted to give people a platform where they can express themselves and talk about their business and their endeavors in a very safe space.
Content and entertainment just for you. The Intro Kit.
Friday Eve.
Or Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 Network that has only 4 words to say to you.
Hey.
The Lunch Break with AJ, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at noon Central. Welcome back to Mentality, where it's the ultimate masculine safe space with Wize and Jefe. Yeah, there we go. I am Cole Johnson, and we talked about the Democratic side of things. Well, let's talk about the Republican side of things, since they did have a debate last week in Politically Speaking. And the winner is Donald Trump. But you're saying to Cole, wait a minute, Trump wasn't even in the debate. No, that's what made it even better. He did not set foot on the debate stage, and he still was the overall winner of the first debate between the 8, or the 9, if you include him, presidential candidates for the Republican Party. Now, to be clear, the former president isn't guaranteed to win the Republican nomination this time next year and for the third time in his career. But let's be completely honest. The easy ride he got in the first primary debate Wednesday night, not even attending it, yet you saw, except for one candidate, the others tippy-toe all around him, was absolutely hilarious to me. Now, since he didn't even have to show up on the stage in Milwaukee, it underscored the reality that the only person likely to cost Trump the nomination, I think I heard this someplace. Oh, yeah, right here. It'd be Trump himself. I mean, he has been indicted 4 times, and once in New York, once in Florida, once in D.C., and once now in Georgia. And it's going to be those legal catastrophes that would probably do him in if he's going to be done in.
Yes.
Now, why am I saying all of this, but I said the debate? Well, he had an interview with Tucker Carlson. Not even, of course, Tucker is no longer affiliated with Fox News. And from what I understood, I think when I last checked, I think it was about 250 million views that the interview between Tucker and Donald actually had, which was a whole lot more focus than what the debate did on Fox News, moderated by Brett Baer and Martha McCallum. Both of them are long-term Fox News staples. Now, on that stage, of course, it was not Trump, but on that stage was the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, the former New Jersey governor, Chris Christie, the former South Carolina governor and former UN ambassador, Nikki Haley, the South Carolina Senator, Tim Scott, former Indiana governor and former U.S. Vice President, Mike Pence, Donald Burgum, who is the current North Dakota governor, who sounded a little libertarian, and Asa Hutchinson, former Arkansas governor. And I can tell you right now, Wise, he's 72. So he would be the type you would say, okay, you're disqualified because you're too old. Now, the name that I did not mention that to me, I think outshone them all on the stage, is the Ohio businessman Vivek Ramaswamy. And he outshone them simply because he knew where the true bread is buttered when it comes to the GOP, and not necessarily the party itself, but the people who want to vote. Since the bread is buttered with Trump, Ramaswamy was like, oh yeah, I'm all about that. And one time actually saying in the debate, quote, the best president in the 21st century is Donald Trump, close quote. So obviously he put himself in prime position, maybe not to be considered vice president, although that might be possible. But he is putting himself in position to possibly be on the cabinet should Trump actually win in November 2024 and take office in January 2025.
Or if powers that be get their wish, he doesn't run for office. Oh, you're the only one that's really said anything that maybe I'll endorse you.
Yeah.
He
It's
knows.
quite
He knows.
possible.
He knows who. He knows what his. Listen, Trump followers will follow him blindly. And if he says, "Hey, if I can't take office, I need y'all to go vote for this man." Listen, they raided the state capitol building. What makes you think they won't go to the polls to vote for this man?
Yeah, and before they raided the U.S. Capitol, 80 million voted for Trump. So that you should know that I'm willing to bet that there's at least that many who would vote for whoever Trump endorses.
Yep,
because Trump is endorsing him or her. In this case, Ramaswamy him. Oh, so this would warm your heart, Wise, considering that Ramaswamy is 38. So he's not on the old side of politics. He's actually on the young side of it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, as the youngest you can be to qualify to be a president of the United States or a United States candidate for president would be 35. So
he's not a political. He's not a lifelong politician.
And he's not a lifelong politician, which also warms the heart of MAGAites. So you have that going for him. You have the fact that he played, even though he is not a lifelong politician, he played the political game to a T in that debate.
Yeah.
And he now has put himself in prime position to be considered for something huge. Either be the Republican nominee, or be the vice presidential candidate for Trump, or be high up and possibly fit himself in when he gets to be a presidential candidate in 2028. Now, Nikki Haley said a witty comment, wanted to appeal to the women in the audience and saying, if you want something said, ask men to do it, but if you want something done, ask a woman to do it. But I felt as though when she tried to challenge Ramaswamy a little too much, that she hurt herself a little. And then she did say a couple of damaging things toward the Donald from the standpoint of the debt that because of basically, to me, the pandemic that the Trump administration put the country in. And just seeing the former governor of South Carolina, I just was unimpressed. Why did it feel that Nikki Haley came up short?
Bro, they all came up short, man. They all let's not sugarcoat this, man. They all came up short. Even the guy we were just talking about, Ramaswamy, yeah, whatever. They all came up short because the person we're talking about now is Donald Trump. Ain't nobody talking about any of them. We're all just talking about how they all came out losers of this. So I'm not gonna drop specific losers. They all came out losers of this. Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott, all of them came out losers of this. Because you lost to a man that wasn't even there. And has been indicted 4 times. Indicted 4 times. Didn't show up to the debate because he was like, yo, can't none of y'all touch me. First of all, this is why he's like, I'm not coming to the debate because ain't none of y'all here could hold my jock strap. This is what he's telling them.
That's exactly what he's telling them.
This is what he's telling them all. Every single one of them. You cannot hold my jock. None of you. So I'm not coming to show up because all I'm gonna do is waste my time because I'm gonna just bury every single one of y'all.
Oh my gosh.
I'm coming to slay you all if I come, and I'm not gonna do that to y'all. I'm gonna let y'all live right now. But look, and I knew his Tucker Carlson interview was gonna do better than the debate. It was
I did too.
It was no surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody up there was whack. Don't nobody care about none of them.
Oh my gosh.
None of them. Like, how did Nikki feel? You know how Nikki Haley failed? By entering the race. Thinking she had a shot against the juggernaut that is Trump.
Not how did she fail? She entered the race.
She entered the race. She entered the losing cause. Everybody who put in their nomination this year entered the losing race. Because MAGA Knights only won one person.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
and ain't none of y'all him.
Well, then none of them him. Oh my gosh. The reason why I singled her out was because she was fighting so hard to stand out from the 8.
Well, she has to because she's a woman.
And the attempts were so futile that I'm like, okay, I gotta just simply focus on the fact that she tried to make attempts to stand out. She challenged Ramaswamy on many different occasions, and it just simply fell on deaf
My
ears.
question is, why she didn't challenge everyone else? Why she challenged the Indian dude? Like,
That's
he is Indian, right?
Yes.
Like, why you challenge the Indian dude? Like, why you didn't challenge anyone else up there? Because he's not the politician, and you felt you had a victim in him. Like, you felt, oh, this dude is not the politician, so let me rebuke whatever he has to say. Because every other male up there was a lifelong politician.
Right. Oh my. And now, thoughts from the throne.
So, as many of you know, I am a huge wrestling fan, and this week the wrestling world I've lost 2 great titans of the squared circle. First, the hardcore legend Terry Funk passes away on Wednesday, and then Thursday, when me and my boy was just having a conversation, and he gets breaking news, and he tells me Wyndham Rotunda passes away. K-Fab, Bray Wyatt. It just went to show you, like, 36 years old. People, life is precious. Enjoy the moments that you have with your family and friends. We all go through our struggles. We all go through our ups and downs. But I promise you, if you fight and you get back up, promise you things will get better. Life has its ups and downs. It really does. And so you need to take this time and be thankful for being here and waking another day. And let's just celebrate these 2 these men. They Terry Funk impacted my childhood. I'm a huge wrestling fan because what he did, and a lot of the great wrestlers. And Bray Wyatt kind of made me fall back in love with wrestling again, with the Fiend and the Wyatt family and all the characters he created. So you 2 gentlemen will be missed. Rest in peace. And that's my thoughts from the throne.
Everybody has a story. Everybody. Yes, even you. You have a story. And it may be on the beginning of a journey. It may be in the midst of one. or maybe at the end of one. Like, for instance, with me, the story of my being a manager, where 2 months before I thought I was going to be out of the business, and I had a lot of weight that I carried. But I love saying the story that I had of actually being a manager and becoming one, because I got a chance to encourage others and say, if this happened to me, this can happen to you. So understand that when you tell a story, there's a beauty in it, because there will always be an end to it, no matter if it's good, better, and different, but it'll be something that you can learn from it. So appreciate every bit of that journey, no matter how hard the road, no matter how good it is either. Appreciate the journey, because when it's at its end, you can have a story to tell others so that they can live a better life and they could be encouraged by what you endured, what you overcame, and what you learned from the beginning to now. There's a beauty in your story, and embrace every single aspect of it. And remember, be joyful at its end. And those are thoughts from the throne. Anything else, sir, before we call it a day for Mentality?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Another great show. I had a great time. So
yeah, same. Well, we totally appreciate you. Thank you all for liking. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for subscribing, and thank you all for hitting the notification bell to get any and all content that emanates from either the Real Wise TV YouTube channel or the Comey Media Incorporated YouTube channel. And you can get this program itself each and every week. And we thank you for your love, your support, and we appreciate every last one of you. For Wize El Jefe, I am Cole Johnson. That is another episode of Mentality, and we will say our goodbyes as we always do. Our secret technique is that we always speak with mentality. See you next week.
Peace out.
That's 100.